Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Hunting Stories Podcast, The Hunter's Brief, the weekly segment where we bring you the freshest stories from the wide world of hunting, wildlife, and conservation. It's the week of September 26th, 2025, and we have a packed lineup ranging from digital hunting licenses and federal policy shifts to quail forecasts, lost tags, ostrich drama, and even rhinos and fat bears. Grab your coffee, and let's dive in. The Secretary of Interior order undermines the Land Water Conservation Fund. On September 5th, newly installed Interior Secretary Doug Burgum issued Secretarial Order 3442, significantly altering how the Land Water Conservation Fund, the LWCF, can be used. Conservation groups note that the order narrows LWCF acquisitions to lands within national or existing National Park Service and Fish and Wildlife Service units and gives state governors and county governments a veto over certain projects. It also allows states to use LWCF dollars to purchase surplus federal property. A move the Coalition to Protect America's National Park says revives policies Congress actually has already rejected. Environment America warns that the order could exclude lands outside existing units and add red tape that slows much-needed projects. Hunters and anglers depend on LWCF to create new access to public lands and protect wildlife habitat. With billions in deferred maintenance, any barriers threaten future opportunities. Critics argue the order caters to political allies at the expense of conservation, while supporters claim it protects local control. Either way, expect legal and legislative battles ahead. If history is any guide, when bureaucrats tinker with America's most popular conservation program, the only thing certain is a surge of comment letters and coffee-fueled meetings. Texas licenses go fully digital. Everything's bigger in Texas, guys, including their embrace of technology. On September 15th, the Texas Park and Wildlife announced that all hunting, fishing, and combo licenses now have a fully digital option. Hunters can purchase licenses and view them through the Texas Hunt and Fish or Outdoor Annual mobile apps. Digital tagging of deer, turkey, and certain fish is also available. The agency simplified non-resident licenses and encouraged users to donate to programs like Hunters for the Hungry. Paper tags are technically still available, but digital holders must carry the license on their device. For hunters, the change means one less thing to forget in the truck and immediate access to regulations. Conservationists welcome the efficiencies, noting that the license sales fund habitat projects and education. Of course, in true Texas fashion, you still need cell service. Otherwise, your tag is as imaginary as a jackalope. California is predicting a banner year for quail and chukar. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife is predicting above-average quail and chukar populations for the 25-26 season thanks to improved rainfall. California hosts 3 quail species, the California Valley, Mountain, and Gambles, and introduced the chukar in some rugged terrain. The Zone 1 season opened, September 13th, and Zone 2 opened September 27th. Statewide general quail and chukar seasons run October 18th to January 25th. The daily bag limit is remaining at 10 quail and 6 chukar, and CDFW reminds hunters to use non-lethal ammunition. It is required statewide for upland game birds. And also to deposit the wings in collection barrels to help biologists study age and sex ratios. For upland enthusiasts, this forecast signals great covey flushes ahead. Just make sure your bird dog is ready. And if you haven't walked steep chukar country yet, remember, they live where the devil lost his boots. Ohio's archery season opens amid EHD concerns. Ohio's deer archery season opens September 27th and runs through February 1st, 2026, allowing crossbows, longbows, and compound bows. Last year's archery hunters set a record taking 99,742 deer. But an episodic hemorrhagic disease, which we've covered in the past, outbreak has actually prompted the Ohio Division of Wildlife to propose reducing the bag limit to 2 deer per license year in Athens, Meigs, and Washington counties starting December 1st. Additional seasons with youth, gun, and muzzleloader are on the calendar. Hunters must buy a license and deer permit. The Huntfish OH app makes it easy to report these harvests. EHD is a viral disease spread by midges. It doesn't harm humans, but can decimate deer populations. Reduced bag limits help maintain herd resilience. So if you hunt southeastern Ohio, Bring extra bug spray and maybe plan a second freezer for all the EHD-related discussions you'll have at deer camp. Here's one I'm not really sure how I feel about yet, but anti-hunters flood the Florida bear lottery. Florida reopened its black bear hunt this December for the first time in over a decade, since 2015. When the lottery for 172 tags closed on September 23rd, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or FWC, tallied 163,459 applications. A local animal rights group called Angels in Distress bragged on Facebook that it had spent $185,000 on lottery entries, equating to roughly 37,000 applications, or 23% of the total. So, yeah, they're stopping hunters, but they're also contributing to conservation. Either way, the campaign, dubbed Bag a Tag, Spare a Bear, encourages non-hunters to buy unlimited $5 entries to prevent hunters from drawing tags. FWC says the efforts likely won't affect the hunt, and that any unused permits will be reallocated in future seasons. Importantly, all revenue from the lottery supports wildlife management. So for hunters, the episode underscores how contentious bear seasons can be and how creative opponents will get. At least someone bought a lot of chances to win a tag they don't want, but hey, talk about paying for the privilege of not going hunting. Canada, ostrich farmers arrested ahead of a mass cull. In British Columbia, an unusual showdown erupted at Universal Ostrich Farms near Edgewood on September 24th. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or the RCMP, executed a search warrant at the farm after courts ordered the flock of more than 400 ostriches culled due to H5N1 avian influenza concerns. Global News reports that police arrested co-owner Karen Esperson and her daughter Katie Pesitny, who had been sleeping in the ostrich enclosure to prevent officials from seizing the birds. Protesters rallied outside while the RCMP set up a perimeter, and Canadian Food Inspection Agency officials prepared to euthanize the birds. The farmers argue that there's no evidence of avian flu in the flock, noting that 69 birds died from heat stress earlier and demanding independent testing. Courts refused further stays, and the farmers plan to appeal the Supreme Court of Canada. For hunters and ranchers alike, this case illustrates how disease control, property rights, and animal welfare can collide spectacularly. And for the ostriches, I guess it's proof that being flightless in Canada doesn't keep you under the radar. Artist James Houtman wins federal duck stamp contest. Waterfowl enthusiasts rejoice. Minnesota artist James Houtman claimed his 7th win at the 2025 federal duck stamp art contest on September 19th. His acrylic painting of 3 buffalo heads will grace the 26-27 federal migratory bird hunting and conservation stamp, which raises around $40 million annually for wetland habitat. The stamp program has generated more than $1.3 billion since 1934, conserving over 6 million acres of habitat. USFWS Director Brian Nesvik notes that buying a duck stamp, even if you don't hunt, supports habitat and provides free admission to national wildlife refuges. For waterfowl hunters and collectors, Houtman's win continues a family tradition of artistic excellence. And remember, a duck stamp may be the only piece of government paperwork that actually looks good framed. Fat Bear Week returns to Alaska. If you need a break from politics, Fat Bear Week is back. Katamai National Park's annual single elimination tournament runs September 23rd through the 30th, inviting the public to vote for the fattest brown bears in Alaska. Each day, 2 bears go head-to-head online. The one with the most votes advances until a champion is crowned. Park Superintendent Mark Sturm says the event highlights how salmon runs sustain the ecosystem and encourages people worldwide to learn about bear behavior. Last year's defending champion is a formidable female named Grazer. Fat Bear Week draws millions of votes and raises awareness about the challenges bears face when bulking up for winter. So if your bracket in March was a bust, here's your chance to redeem yourself. No training montage required. World Rhino Day highlights progress and peril. On September 22nd, conservation organizations marked World Rhino Day by reflecting on wins and ongoing challenges. Save the Rhino International reported that the black rhino numbers continue to rise thanks to strong conservation actions, and a member of major trafficking network recently received an 18-year prison sentence. However, rhino populations still face severe threats. Poaching syndicates adapt quickly. Climate-driven drought stresses habitats, and white rhinos declined from 16,772 to 15,752 between 2022 and 2024. Asian rhinos remain critically low. The Sumatran species counts just 34 to 47 individuals, and about 50 Javan rhinos survive. Funding shortages also imperil long-term conservation. The day calls on government, NGOs, and the public to maintain momentum. After all, rhinos have been around for 50 million years. It would be a shame if our generation turned them into museum exhibits. That wraps up this week's Hunter's Brief. From policy battles over public lands to digital licenses, upland bird forecast, wildlife disease alerts, and even viral voting contests, it's clear that the world of hunting and conservation never sits still. Stay tuned for our Monday storytelling episode for deeper dives. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with your hunting buddies, bird-watching friends, and even that one anti-hunter who might learn something new. Most importantly, support ethical hunting and conservation by getting involved, buying your licenses and stamps, and respecting wildlife and wild places. Until next time, good luck in the field, and may your arrows fly true.